Hello, welcome and thank you for choosing Pliant for your wireless intercom needs. In this video, we'll be showing you how to set up a pre-configured CrewCom system. So, we'll walk you through exactly how to connect devices to match the configuration file on your master control unit, also known as your CU. If your system has been pre-configured, that means a CrewCom configuration file, also known as a CCF, has been created using our software program CrewWare and then loaded to your master CU already. The person who created your system's CCF should be able to provide you with a printed system diagram. Having one will be extremely helpful with system setup. If your system has not been pre-configured, you may need to use CrewWare to build a CCF and customize how your system operates. See the additional CrewCom user documentation and tutorials on the Pliant website for more information on that process. Before we connect the devices, let's talk more about the system diagram. The system diagram reflects the CrewCom hardware connections and the CrewCom topology that were set up when the system was pre-configured. CrewNet is what we call our network. System diagrams only show CrewCom devices and their interconnectivity. They don't show non-CrewCom devices such as party line and matrix wired systems, which could possibly be connected to your control unit. Each icon on the diagram represents a CrewCom device, and on the icon is a symbol for each CrewNet port on the device. The lines connecting the port symbols show you where to connect your cables when setting up your system. Green lines signify copper cable, purple lines signify fiber. We'll talk more about each device's CrewNet ports in a moment. So let's start with the center of any CrewCom system, the control unit or CU. This is what the CU looks like on the system diagram. And here's an actual CU. Yours may be in a rack or simply sitting on a table. Just be sure to have access to its rear panel. Connect AC power, but don't turn it on yet. Next, let's take a look at the radio transceiver or RT. This is what an RT looks like on the system diagram. And in this particular system, it looks like we'll have two RTs. And here is an actual RT. Before doing any other system setup, you'll want to attach your whip antennas to the two connectors on top of each RT. Make sure they're secure and tightened. There are a number of acceptable positions for your antennas. Consider where each RT will be mounted to determine the best approach for your application. But for most applications, we recommend positioning your antennas in the 45-degree angle shown here. You'll need to mount each RT in a central location to where you need coverage. You'll want to mount them as high as possible and away from obstructions, especially metal. The best mounting scenario would maintain a direct line of sight from the RT antennas to the radio packs. See the RT manual available on the Pliant website for more information on attaching brackets and mounting your RTs. Now we'll begin connecting the devices to match the CrewNet topology shown in the system diagram. Remember, as we go through these steps, you should keep copper cable runs under 100 meters, 330 feet, to have your system function properly. First, this diagram shows the connection between the first RT and the CU. On the RT, this port symbol is its CrewNet in port, the one on the left. And on the CU, we're connecting to the CrewNet port 2. So let's see that on some actual devices. We'll use this Cat5 cable to connect the first RT to the CU. Notice here that the RT's CrewNet in port is an either-or port for copper or fiber connection. You'll use one or the other depending on your cable type. Also, make sure you don't connect to the RT loop port accidentally. We're going to need that port in the next step. The CU's CrewNet port 2 is also either a copper or fiber connection. Next, this diagram shows the connection between the first and second RTs. On the first RT, this port symbol is the RT loop port. And on the second RT, we're connecting to the CrewNet in port. Let's see this connection on our system. We'll use this cable to connect our RTs together. This type of connection between RTs is also called daisy chaining. So now our device connections match the diagram. We'll pause our setup here to point out the 2-wire and 4-wire intercom connections available on the rear of the CU. If you're connecting an external intercom system to CrewCom, you should connect those cables to your CU now. The number of 2-wire and 4-wire ports on the CU is determined by its model. The CCU22 model contains 2 of each, while the CCU44 model, the one we've been using, contains 4 of each. Now that all connections are made, power on your control unit. Wait for the system to complete its startup process. While you wait, you'll see a load progress screen on the CU, and you'll see the LEDs on the RTs begin to flash. Setup is complete when the CU is displaying a blank grid screen and when the CrewNet in, transmit, and mode LEDs on every RT are green. The RT loop indicator will also light when that connection is being used. CrewWare, our software application, is not required, but is useful for monitoring a live system. If you're connecting your system to CrewWare, you should do so now. You can see the CrewWare manual available on the Pliant website for more information on configuring your local area network connection and using CrewWare for live system monitoring. Now let's move to setting up our radio packs. Here's a radio pack, also known as an RP. Each RP needs a Pliant rechargeable lithium polymer battery, so we'll show you how to insert one. Hold the RP at about a 45-degree angle with the bottom end pointing down. Then hold open the belt clip and insert a charged one, making sure that its metal contacts are touching those inside the RP. Replace the battery door, making sure to align its tab and secure the door by pressing firmly. A properly secured battery door should be flush to the surrounding RP housing. Turn on the RP by pressing and holding its power button for 3 seconds. Wait for the RP to complete its startup process. While you wait, you'll see a splash screen and you'll feel the RP vibrate when it powers on. Once it's logged in, the RP display will show a radio strength indication and a pair of link quality values. The RP won't log in and communicate unless it's been paired to a CU. If it hasn't been paired, the RP will read "No pairing information available" on its display. You can see the radio pack manual available on the Pliant website for more information on pairing RPs and rectifying this issue. The 2 or 4 buttons across the top are the RP's talk buttons, and they turn talk on and off for their assigned conference. But be aware, some talk buttons could be disabled depending on how the pack's profile is set up. Profiles can be customized to fit the application and user needs. The knobs below the talk buttons control the volume for the assigned conference. The triangular button right above the screen accesses the RP's menu. Once your RPs are powered on and logged in, you'll want to connect a headset to a pair of RPs and, with a friend's help, perform a walk test. Clip the RP to your hip as it'll be worn for your application. Then walk around the coverage area testing operation with the other RP and paying attention to the quality of the audio. While you test, occasionally check the link quality to ensure that the numbers on average stay in the 90s. That's all for setting up a pre-configured CrewCom system. You've connected the devices, powered everything on, and tested system operation. You should be good to go, but if you need more information about setting up or operating CrewCom, or if you need help troubleshooting an issue, contact us by phone or email using the information shown here. You can also visit the Pliant website at www.plianttechnologies.com for product support, documentation, videos, and live chat for help. Thanks again for watching this video and choosing CrewCom by Pliant.